My name is Carolyn Hayes. I'm 44. Last Tuesday at 7:23 p.m., my stepdaughter Brittany looked at me across the dinner table and said, "You know what? You're basically just my dad's maid who gets to sleep in the master bedroom." My husband David laughed, not a polite chuckle, a full, head-thrown-back laugh that made the wine glasses shake. I was holding a serving spoon full of the roasted chicken I'd spent 2 hours preparing. The potatoes were still steaming. I'd set the table with the good plates because Brittany's boyfriend was coming over for the first time. I'd bought flowers. I'd made her favorite dessert. "Brittany, that's not—" I started. "What?" She cut me off, smirking. "It's true. You cook, you clean, you pay for everything. That's literally what a maid does, except Dad married you so he doesn't have to pay you." Her boyfriend Tyler shifted in his chair. His face went red. He stared at his plate like it held the secrets of the universe. David wiped his eyes. "Oh my God, Britt! You can't just—" He laughed again. "But you're not wrong." Something inside my chest went very still, not broken. Still. "I'm going to take a walk," I said. My voice sounded normal. That surprised me. "Can you bring back ice cream?" Brittany called after me. "The good kind, not the generic." I walked out of that house at 7:26 p.m. I didn't take my phone. I didn't take my keys. I just walked. Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now and what time is it there. I need to know I'm not the only one who's ever felt invisible in their own home. I walked for 43 minutes. When I came back, they'd eaten all the chicken. They'd left the dishes. Brittany and Tyler were on the couch watching a movie. David was scrolling through his phone at the table. Nobody asked where I'd been. Let me take you back 8 years to when I first met David Hayes. It was spring 2016, and I was 36, freshly divorced, sitting in a hospital cafeteria at 6:14 a.m. because I'd just finished a night shift as a healthcare administrator. I was eating terrible scrambled eggs and drinking worse coffee when this man sat down across from me without asking. "You look like you've had a night," he said. "I look like I've had 8 hours of insurance claim denials and a codes in the ER, I told him. He smiled. He had this warm smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. "David Hayes, I'm the new facilities manager. First week." "Carolyn Mitchell," I said. Mitchell was my married name. I'd kept it because changing paperwork felt like admitting defeat. "Welcome to the chaos." We talked for 20 minutes. He made me laugh. I hadn't laughed in months. My first marriage had ended quietly, like a light bulb burning out. No drama. Just one day we both realized we'd been roommates for 3 years and couldn't remember the last time we'd actually talked. David told me about his daughter, Brittany. She was 14 then. "Her mom and I split when she was 6, he explained. "Amicable. We do 50-50 custody. She's a good kid, smart, little attitude sometimes, but what teenager doesn't?" He didn't tell me that Brittany's mother had left him because he couldn't hold down a job. He didn't tell me that 50-50 custody meant he had Brittany every other weekend and considered himself father of the year. He didn't tell me that facilities manager meant he'd talked his way into a job he wasn't qualified for and would be fired within 8 months. I didn't know any of that yet. What I knew was he smelled like coffee and laundry detergent. He asked about my day. He remembered my name when we ran into each other in the parking lot 2 days later. We were married by December 2016. Quick, I know. But I was tired of being alone, and David said all the right things. He said, "I've never met anyone as capable as you." He said, "You make everything look easy." He said, "Brittany's going to love you." That last one was optimistic. Brittany tolerated me at first. Polite distance. I tried not to push. I made her favorite meals when she stayed with us. I asked about school. I drove her to soccer practice when David's car broke down. Again. The first time she called me Carolyn instead of "that woman my dad married." I counted it as a win. The first time she asked me for help with her college applications, I thought maybe we were getting somewhere. The first time she hugged me, was at her high school graduation in 2020. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, but I held on to that moment. What I didn't see then was the pattern forming. David lost his job at the hospital after 9 months. Then he tried construction. Then he tried working for his brother's landscaping company. Then he tried selling insurance. Each job lasted 6 to 11 months. Each time, it wasn't his fault. Bad boss, company downsizing, personality conflicts. By 2018, I was carrying us financially, all of us, David's child support for Brittany, our mortgage, his car payment, everything. That's when I refinanced the house. The house David and I had bought together in 2017, except bought together meant I qualified for the loan. My credit score, my income, my signature as primary borrower. David's name was on the title as co-owner because we were married, but the bank officer had been very clear. Mrs. Hayes, this loan is yours. If anything happens, you're responsible. I refinanced in April 2018 to get a better rate, dropped the monthly payment from $2,847 to $2,614. I was proud of myself. I'd saved us $233 a month. David said, "You're so good at this stuff. I don't even understand half the paperwork." What he meant was, I don't want to understand. You handle it. And I did. I handled everything. I set up the automatic payment from my checking account. I tracked the escrow for property taxes. I scheduled the annual homeowner's insurance review. I kept all the documents in a labeled folder in my filing cabinet. David never asked to see any of it. Brittany graduated high school and decided to take a gap year, then another gap year. Then she enrolled in community college part-time while working at a boutique 15 hours a week. She moved back in with us full-time in January 2022. "Just until I figure things out," she said. It's March 2024 now. She's 22. She's still figuring things out. She doesn't pay rent. She doesn't buy groceries. When I suggested she contribute $300 a month for food and utilities, David said, "Come on, Carolyn, she's my daughter. We don't charge family to exist." I paid for her car insurance for 8 months when she couldn't afford it. I paid for her phone. I bought her the laptop she needed for online classes that she dropped after 3 weeks. David would say, "You're so generous. Brittany's lucky to have you." And I would feel warm, appreciated, needed. That was the hook. I see it now. The first betrayal wasn't the dinner table comment. That was just the moment I couldn't ignore it anymore. The first betrayal was smaller, quieter. It was October 2023. I'd been sick with the flu, actual influenza, not a cold. Fever of 102.4 degrees. I was in bed for 4 days. David brought me soup once, canned. He heated it in the microwave for 45 seconds and brought it to me in the can because all the bowls were dirty. Brittany didn't check on me at all. On day 3, I dragged myself out of bed at 6:47 p.m. because I needed water and found the kitchen destroyed. Dishes piled in the sink, trash overflowing, something sticky spilled on the counter. "What happened in here?" I asked. My voice was hoarse. David looked up from the couch. "Oh, yeah. We've been kind of busy. Can you—" "I have the flu." "I know, babe. That's why I've been giving you space. I'll clean up tomorrow." He didn't. I cleaned it on day 5. Because I couldn't stand looking at it. Because fruit flies had started gathering. Because nobody else was going to do it. That should have told me everything. But I told myself, they're not good at domestic stuff. They need me. I'm useful. The second betrayal was in January 2024. I came home from a 14-hour shift at the hospital, budget meeting, staff shortages, 2 different emergencies. I was exhausted to my bones. I walked in at 9:53 p.m. and found them eating pizza on the couch with paper plates. "Oh good, you're home," David said. "Can you swing by the pharmacy before it closes? I need my prescription refilled." "The pharmacy closes at 10. "Right, so if you hurry." David, I've been at work since 7 this morning. It'll take you like 15 minutes. I stared at him, at Brittany, who didn't even look up from her phone. Why didn't you go earlier? I asked. I forgot. You've been home all day. I had stuff to do. I didn't go to the pharmacy. I went to bed. The next morning, David was cold. Brittany was cold, like I'd failed some unspoken test. I had to go to the pharmacy at 11:30 at night, David said. Drove all the way to the 24-hour one across town. My back was killing me. He made it sound like I'd forced him to climb Everest. I apologized. I actually apologized. I should have just gone, I said. I wasn't thinking. He accepted my apology like a king accepting tribute. That was February. By March, I'd started noticing things. The way they'd leave lights on in every room, the way they'd go through an entire roll of paper towels in 2 days, the way they'd complain about dinner without ever offering to cook, the way David would say, "Can you handle this?" About everything. Bills, appointments, his mother's birthday gift, oil changes. The way Brittany would say, "Caroline, where's my—" And I'd drop whatever I was doing to find her missing phone/charger/jacket/keys. The way neither of them said thank you anymore. Like I was furniture. Like I was the dishwasher or the vacuum cleaner. You don't thank appliances for doing what they're built to do. Then came last Tuesday. The dinner, the comment, the laughter. I walked for 43 minutes that night, and somewhere around minute 37, a thought dropped into my head like a stone into still water. What if I just stopped? Not left, not divorced, not made a scene, just stopped. Stopped cooking elaborate meals. Stopped doing anyone's laundry but my own. Stopped paying for anything that wasn't mine. Stopped reminding. Stopped organizing. Stopped managing. What would happen? I got home at 8:09 p.m. I walked past the dirty dishes. I walked past David and Brittany on the couch. I went to my room, our room technically, but it hadn't felt like hours in months. I opened my laptop. I logged into our mortgage account. I'd set up automatic payment from my checking account in 2018, $2,614 a month, due on the 1st. Every single month for 6 years. I scrolled through the payment history. April 2018, $2,614, paid in full from my account. May 2018, $2,614, paid in full from my account. June 2018, $2,614, paid in full from my account, on and on. 72 consecutive payments, not one missed, not one late. Every penny from my checking account. I opened a different window. Our joint account, the one David had access to, the one he was supposed to contribute to. His last deposit. November 2023, $340 from a weekend side job helping his brother. Before that, August 2023, $180. Before that, May 2023, $220. In the past 18 months, David had contributed $1,893 to our household. I'd paid $47,052 just in mortgage payments. That didn't count utilities, groceries, insurance, property taxes, repairs. I did the math. I actually sat there with a calculator and added it up. In the 6 years we'd been married, I'd paid approximately $320,000 in household expenses. David had contributed approximately $18,000. Brittany had contributed $0. I sat very still for a long time. Then I picked up my phone. I called my bank. "I need to stop an automatic payment," I told the representative. Her name was Michelle. She sounded young, cheerful. "Sure thing. Which payment would you like to cancel?" "The mortgage payment. It's scheduled for April 1st. I need it stopped." "Okay, I can do that. Can I ask if you're switching to a different payment method?" "No," I said. "I'm just not paying it this month." There was a pause. "Ma'am, I have to let you know that if your mortgage payment is late, you could incur fees and it could affect your credit score." "I understand." "Are you experiencing financial hardship? Because there are programs." No, I'm not experiencing financial hardship. I'm experiencing a boundary. Michelle didn't know what to say to that. She canceled the payment. I slept better that night than I had in months. The next morning, I got up at 5:30 a.m., like always. I made coffee, for myself, 1 cup. I didn't make breakfast. David came out at 7:15 a.m., looking confused. Is there coffee? In the pot, I said. I mean, is there breakfast? I made myself toast. There's bread in the pantry. He stared at me like I'd spoken Mandarin. I left for work. That night I came home to texts. David, can you grab milk on the way home? Me. I'm not stopping. David, we're out. Me. Okay. David, so can you get some? Me. You have a car? Brittany. Carolyn, where's my blue sweater? Me. I don't know. Brittany. Can you check the laundry room? Me. No. Brittany. Seriously? Me. Seriously. I got home at 6:40 p.m. The kitchen was still a mess from the night before, plus new mess, cereal bowls, coffee mugs, an empty pizza box. I walked past it. I made myself a salad. I ate it in my room. David knocked on the door at 7:28 p.m. Hey, are you okay? I'm fine. You seem off. I'm just tired. Do you want to watch TV with us? No, thank you. He left, confused but not concerned enough to push. This went on for 9 days. I stopped cooking for them. I stopped cleaning common areas. I stopped doing their laundry. I stopped buying groceries for anyone but myself. I answered direct questions. I was polite. I wasn't angry or passive-aggressive. I just stopped performing invisible labor. By day 6, the house was a disaster. Dishes everywhere. Trash bags piled by the door. The bathroom was out of toilet paper because nobody had bought more. David tried once. Babe, the house is kind of a mess. Can we do a cleaning day this weekend? You can, I said. I'm busy. Busy with what? Reading. He bought toilet paper. 1 4-pack. He didn't notice we'd normally go through that in a week with 3 people. Brittany got angry on day 8. I came home to find her standing in the kitchen, hands on hips. What is your problem? She demanded. I don't have a problem. You've been acting weird all week. Are you mad at me? No. Then why are you being like this? Like what? Like, like you don't care about anyone. I looked at her. Really looked at her. 22 years old. No job beyond 15 hours a week at a store. Living rent-free. Eating food she didn't buy. Wearing clothes I'd washed for years. Brittany, I said calmly, I've been doing your laundry since you were 17. You're 22 now. Do you know how to separate colors from whites? Her face went red. That's not the point. What is the point? The point is you're being a bitch. David came into the room. Hey, don't talk to Carolyn like that. She's not doing anything, Brittany said. The house is a mess, there's no food, and she's just acting like she doesn't live here. I do live here, I said. I pay for here. Silence. What's that supposed to mean? David asked. His voice had an edge. It means I've been paying the mortgage, all of it. For 6 years. I've been buying the groceries, paying the utilities, paying for Brittany's car insurance and phone and clothes and everything else. We split expenses, David said. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, turned it around. Show me. He didn't move. Show me your contributions, David. Show me where you've been splitting anything. I do other stuff, he said. I maintain the house. You called a plumber twice. I paid the plumber. You mow the lawn once a month in summer. I pay for the mower, the gas, the lawn service when you don't feel like doing it. Brittany's eyes were wide. Dad? This is insane, David said. You're keeping score? In a marriage? I'm not keeping score. I'm reading bank statements. There's a difference. So what? You want me to Venmo you for groceries? Is that what this is? No, I said. I want you to act like you live here. Both of you. I want you to notice when there's no toilet paper and buy some. I want you to cook a meal. I want you to do your own laundry. I want you to contribute. I contribute, David said. How? I. He stopped. You're really going to make me list everything I do? Yes. He couldn't. He stood there, mouth opening and closing, and couldn't name a single thing. Brittany saved him. This is bullshit. You married Dad. That means you married into this family. You don't get to just opt out because you're in a bad mood. I'm not opting out, I said. I'm opting out of being taken for granted. Taken for granted? Brittany laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. You have a roof over your head. You have a husband. You have a family. And you're complaining? I have a mortgage in my name, I corrected. I have a husband who hasn't worked full-time in 3 years. I have a stepdaughter who called me a maid last week, and a husband who thought it was funny. David's face changed. That was a joke. Was it? Brittany didn't mean. Did you laugh? Silence. Did you laugh when your daughter called me a maid? I. He rubbed his face. It was awkward. I didn't know what to say. You could have said, that's not true and it's not funny. You could have defended me. You could have done literally anything except laugh. I walked out of the kitchen. That was day 9. On day 12, the foreclosure notice arrived. I saw it first. The mail came at 2:14 p.m. on a Saturday. I was home. David and Brittany were out. Big envelope, official looking, from the mortgage company. Notice of missed payment. Urgent attention required. The April payment hadn't been made. It was now April 19th. Late fees had been assessed. If payment wasn't received by April 30th, foreclosure proceedings would begin. I put the envelope on the kitchen counter where David would see it. Then I went to my room and waited. He came home at 4:37 p.m. I heard him in the kitchen, heard the envelope tearing open. Carolyn! I stayed in my room. Carolyn, what the hell is this? I opened the door, walked out calmly. It's a foreclosure notice. I can see that. Why didn't you pay the mortgage? Because I chose not to. His face went purple. Actual purple. You chose not to? Yes. Are you insane? They're going to take the house. Then maybe you should pay the mortgage. I don't. He stopped, stared at me. You're punishing me. No. I'm letting reality handle itself. You said I'm generous. You said Brittany's lucky to have me. You've spent 6 years letting me carry everything while you contribute nothing. So I stopped. I just stopped protecting you from it. From what? From the actual cost of living. Brittany came in then. She'd been listening from the hallway. You're going to let them take our house? Her voice was shaking. Over what? Over us not doing dishes? Over you treating me like I'm invisible, I said. Over your father laughing when you called me a maid. Over 6 years of being the only person in this house who acts like an adult. That's not fair, David said. Show me what's fair. Show me where you've been fair to me. He had nothing. I'll fix it, he said finally. I'll pay the mortgage. I'll catch it up. With what money? I'll get it. I'll borrow from my brother. Your brother who you owe $3,000? His mouth closed. Here's what's going to happen, I said. We're going to meet with the mortgage company. Monday morning, 9 a.m. I already made the appointment. What appointment? With a mortgage officer, Daniel Mercer. He's going to explain some things to you. What things? The truth. That Monday, we drove to the mortgage office in complete silence. Brittany came too. I'd told her she needed to be there. The office was on Northwest 23rd Avenue, 3rd floor of a beige building with cheap carpeting and fluorescent lights. Daniel Mercer's office was small. Glass walls, a desk with 2 guest chairs. He was 40-something, graying at the temples, kind eyes behind wireframe glasses. Mrs. Hayes, he said, shaking my hand. Mr. Hayes, Miss Hayes, please sit. There were only 2 chairs. Brittany had to stand. She leaned against the wall, arms crossed. Daniel opened a file folder, pulled out papers. So, I understand we're here to discuss the missed April payment and review the account history. Is that correct? That's correct, I said. David shifted in his chair. Look, we're going to catch it up. This was just a miscommunication. I see. Daniel looked at me. Mrs. Hayes, you're listed as the primary borrower on this loan. Is that correct? Yes. And Mr. Hayes is listed as co-owner of the property through the marriage. Correct. Daniel pulled out another paper. This is the payment history for the past 6 years, since the refinance in April 2018. He turned it around so David could see. 72 payments. Every single one from my account. My account number listed clearly. My name. Mr. Hayes, Daniel said gently. Can you show me where you've contributed to the mortgage payments? David's face went white. We have a joint account. I contribute. The payments come from account ending in 7734. That's Mrs. Hayes's individual checking account. I contribute in other ways. Daniel nodded. I'm sure you do. But for the purpose of this meeting, I need to clarify something. Mrs. Hayes is legally responsible for this loan. She qualified for it. Her credit, her income, her debt-to-income ratio. We're married, David said. That makes it both of ours. The property, yes. The debt, no. If Mrs. Hayes stops making payments, foreclosure proceedings will affect her credit, not yours. Brittany made a sound. A small, shocked sound. What? David turned to Daniel. That can't be right. It's standard for primary borrower structures. Mrs. Hayes carries the legal obligation. David turned to me. You knew this? Yes. And you didn't tell me? I told you 6 years ago when we refinanced. You said you didn't understand the paperwork. You said I should handle it. Daniel pulled out another paper. This is a breakdown of household payments that Mrs. Hayes provided to me on Friday. Mortgage, property tax, insurance, utilities, maintenance, total household expenses since 2018. He slid it across. David looked at the number at the bottom. $347,392. That's... He couldn't finish. That's what Mrs. Hayes has paid to keep this house functioning. Now, Mr. Hayes, Mrs. Hayes also provided records of your contributions to the joint household account. Would you like to see those? No, David whispered. The total is $23,440 over 6 years. That's roughly 6.7% of total household costs. The number hung in the air like smoke. Brittany's voice came from the wall. Dad? There are other contributions, David said desperately. I maintain the house. I do repairs. According to Mrs. Hayes's records, you've hired contractors for every major repair and she's paid the invoices. You mowed the lawn and she paid for lawn service when you didn't. You called plumbers and she paid them. This is insane. David stood up. You called me down here to humiliate me? No, I said quietly. I called you down here so someone else could say what I've been trying to tell you for months. I'm not your maid. I'm not your bank. I'm not your mother. I'm your wife, and I've been carrying everything while you carried nothing. That's not true. Show me where it's not true. My voice was calm, flat. I was so far past anger, I'd reached something else. Clarity. Show me 1 month where you paid the mortgage. 1 month where you bought groceries for the family. 1 month where you paid a utility bill. He couldn't. Brittany pushed off the wall. I need air. She left. Daniel Mercer closed the folder. Mr. Hayes, Mrs. Hayes, I'll give you both a moment. But I need to know by end of business today whether the April payment will be made. If not, we proceed with foreclosure proceedings. He left his office. David and I sat in silence. You're really going to do this, he said finally. You're really going to take the house. I'm not taking anything. The house is already mine. I paid for it. We bought it together. You bought it with my credit, my income, my money. Your name is on the title because we're married. But David, I paid for every single inch of it. His hands were shaking. So what do you want? You want me to leave? I want you to acknowledge reality. What reality? That I've been subsidizing your entire life for 6 years. That Brittany has been living rent-free off my income while treating me like the help. That neither of you has said thank you in so long I can't remember the last time. We appreciate you. No, you use me. He flinched. I'm not leaving, I said. And I'm not divorcing you, but I'm done paying for everything while being treated like I should be grateful for the privilege. What does that mean? It means you have until the end of the month to come up with $2,614 for the mortgage. And every month after that. It means Brittany pays rent or she moves out. It means you get a job, a real job, and you contribute equally. It means you do your own laundry and cook your own meals and clean up after yourself. And if I don't, then I stop the payment again, and the foreclosure happens, and you lose a house you never paid for anyway. You'd really do that? His voice cracked. You'd really let them take it? I already did it once. I can do it again. We sat there in that cheap conference room with the beige walls and the terrible fluorescent lights, and I watched my husband realize I wasn't bluffing. Daniel Mercer came back. Have we reached a decision? I looked at David. He looked at the folder, at the payment history, at the number, $347,392. I'll pay it, he said quietly. I'll call my brother. I'll borrow the money. For this month, I said. What about next month? I'll figure it out. No, I shook my head. That's not good enough. I need a plan. Job applications, budget, contribution schedule. Carolyn, those are my terms. Daniel was watching us carefully. Mr. Hayes, I'll give you until Friday to make the April payment. After that, we move forward with proceedings. We left the office at 10:47 a.m. Brittany was sitting in the parking lot on a concrete curb. Her mascara had run. Is it true? She asked when she saw us. Everything he said? Yes, I said. You paid for everything? Yes. And I called you a maid. Her voice broke. I called you a maid and Dad laughed. I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. She was crying. Real tears. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. You didn't ask. We drove home in silence. That night, David called his brother. I heard him through the door, begging, explaining, humiliated. He got the money. $2,614 transferred to my account by Thursday. I made the payment. Brittany moved out 3 weeks later. She got an apartment with 2 roommates. She got a second job. She texted me once. I'm paying my own rent. It's terrifying, I get it now. I texted back. Proud of you. David got a job. Full-time. Benefits. He works in hospital maintenance at a different facility. He hated it at first. Now he's been there 8 months. He contributes $1,800 a month to the household account. Like clockwork. He does his own laundry. He cooks twice a week. He cleans without being asked. We went to counseling. 12 sessions. The therapist said, you both had different definitions of partnership. You're learning a new one. We're still married. I don't know if we'll stay that way. Some days are better than others. But I'm not invisible anymore. 6 months later, I'm sitting on my porch at 7:14 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Coffee in my hand. The kind I like, not the cheap stuff. The house is quiet. David's at work. Brittany texts sometimes. We got lunch last month. She insisted on paying. I paid the mortgage this month. From the joint account. David's contribution is there. Right on time. I still keep my own account separate, just in case. If you're watching this, I want you to understand something. Silence isn't peace. Silence is the price you pay for someone else's comfort. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do, for them and for yourself, is stop paying it. If you've ever had to stop doing something for someone so they'd understand what you were doing for them all along, type, I stopped in the comments. Or if you're still carrying everything alone, type, I'm still here. Both are valid. Both are real. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories just like this one. Thank you for being here.